Hi, I'm Juliet, and I am here with our 2-year-old Jindo named Party. So right now we are coming to you from our house, which is in East LA. Our house was built in 1962. Let's just go with it, 1962. There was one owner prior to us. So when we got the house, it was so cool because we actually got the schematic drawing that is now sun faded, unfortunately. When we bought it, it was already in really great condition because it was, I would say, very gently used. So the updates that we made, which you'll be seeing, are things that we wanted to do just based on our taste. We kicked down and got this whole curtain situation. When we moved into the house, it was like these angled rods that were like, first of all, they were rods. The curtains were horrible. No shade to the prior owner, but let's just be honest, they were horrible. Curtains are so important, and it's funny because if you asked me about curtains in my prior life, when I lived in New York City for 13 years, I moved into an apartment. I had the seamstress downstairs at the laundromat cut white sheets, and sad to say, I kept those sheets as curtains for 7 years. So I feel good about these that I've now leveled up from using sheets as curtains. A couple other things that I love here. I love blankets. I have way too many blankets. In fact, it's maybe a little bit of a mini obsession. I look at them all the time. This one is from Alana Cohn. This one is from Ryan's mom, and I've never had like a quilt before. Actually, I have a quilt from upstate New York, but see, this is what I'm saying. I don't use it. But this one, it's green. It just came to us recently. I was a little worried about using it because it's ripping, but Ryan said to use it. That's what it's meant for. So we've been rotating this in. This one, okay, looks like it's going to be really simple, right? You're just like, oh, it's just an average blanket. No big deal. It's Grace Jones. I love Grace Jones. I think she's so cool, so talented. This is just a little number from IKEA. This quilt I love also. It's from MoMA, and I just love the color blocking. It's also cotton, kind of tends to feel cool even though it's keeping you warm, so I love that aspect. Couch is from Hay, love it. Pillows, I also love pillows. I have multiple pillowcases, so tend to rotate those in and out as well. I had this rug for quite a while, and it was great because it's like this green just somehow magically matches with the Hay couch. I love Moroccan rugs, so you can find me often on Etsy just looking at rugs. This table, this came from New York when I lived in New York. There's a flea market, I don't know if it's still there, in Chelsea, and on the weekends they would have a flea market, and so I ended up getting this Eames table for 250 bucks. Yes, it was a long time ago, but still, even then I thought it was a steal. This meatball is from a very special friend of mine, Madeline De La Rosa. Before I became a vegetarian, technically pescatarian, let's be honest, I was into meatballs, and I love them still, but now I have to love them from afar. Another ceramicist that we love, Ryan and I, his name is, we call him Rennie, but his name is Reniel. This table, prior to moving to LA, geez, about 9 years ago, I had a partner and we owned a motion graphics and animation studio in New York. And I remember we were looking for desks, and there was a bar that was in Greenpoint, it's still there, called the Pencil Factory, and they had these really cool bespoke tables. And I remember asking the owner, like, where'd you get that table? Again, she sends me back to Chelsea, not the same flea market, but a different one. And there was a guy there, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name now, but an older guy that was from Pennsylvania that made tables like this. So it's from recycled barnwood, and I love it. It's a little too big for our house and our living room, but I can't part with it, so this is staying. These I got on Facebook Marketplace. They're cartel chairs. They just tie in with the rug and the couch. And then for TV, I hate looking at TVs. It's just I just don't like looking at TVs. So we have this short throw projector, and so this actually becomes our TV. This is just a little plug for Ryan's band, Gold Minutes. This is their EP that just came out. And then, okay, oh, this turntable I have had, I'm not even kidding you, since 1996. I got it in Dayton, Ohio for $1. The Marantz and this Techniques tape player were Ryan's dad's, so those were shipped from Kentucky, which we love. So we're trying to figure out where to put records. I cannot put them in the IKEA thing. I just can't do it. It's so tricky, it's so tough. So these are from actually Cincinnati, which is where Ryan and I are from. They're here, they're easy to access, but then you don't have to look at them if you don't want to. The collage is from Bob Pollard, who's had a band forever from Dayton, Ohio, which is technically where I'm from, called Guided by Voices. Co-worker slash friend of Ryan's named Adam Jane walked into this gallery on York and was blown away by these amazing drawings. And I loved how they came about. So basically, this is the size of his family's dinner table. And so every night during COVID, he and his wife and his 2 kids would sit during dinner and draw. And he had stacks and stacks of drawings. So it was very, very hard to choose one. Ultimately, I think the colors in this one spoke to me. There's pencil work in here, there's marker work, there's stickers, bananas, anything that you could want. I don't understand is written out. Yeah, I love his work. It's from 1972, which may or may not be the year I was born. What are we saying? But it probably is, just being honest. I love it so much. It came in the silver frame. So I found it on Instagram when I'm trying to think, maybe I was still in New York, I don't know. But the artist was from upstate New York, and so shipped it to me. Actually went to grad school with a couple mutual friends, so that was a cool connect to it, and I just love it so much. There's a ceramicist from LA, Kat and Roger, they're a couple, and this is one of Kat's paintings that I loved. So I went to their studio, which is kind of in Glassville Park in LA. They were having an open studio, had never met them, and just have been such a fan of their work. So I saw they were having an open house. I went, and she had some of her paintings because she does the paintings on the ceramic. Roger is a ceramicist. And so I fell in love with it and ended up buying it. It's just, the colors are so great. I love form in general, and when you can take form and make it 2D, I really love it. So this photo I love so much. It's from an old friend of mine that I met in New York. Her name is Patrice Bach, B-A-K. She's no longer doing photos. She's no longer making art. She has a different career that she's doing and pursuing. I remember the first time I saw it, and I remember being like, you know, moody in college and listening to the Cocteau Twins and anything basically on 4AD I loved. And the tone of her photos and the kind of the darkness, but then in the darkness then you see the light, I loved. So she gave me this one, and I remember, I think it's from the Berkshires that she took when she was visiting a friend. Took a lot of photos there, but this one I especially love. And I remember we were talking about the framing, and I was like, oh, what kind of frame am I going to get for it? And she explicitly told me not to get a frame and to frame it this way. So I went to the place, I can't remember where it is, it's on 23rd Street in New York, and got it framed. And she specifically didn't want a frame because her point of view was, this is a window into the outside, which I think is so beautiful. So when you look at it, you could imagine yourself looking outside and seeing this beautiful field. Form in 2D I just think is so special, even though this is technically 3D because it's ceramic. This is an artist by the name of Amy Dove, and I've been obsessed with her work for a while. Was able to go to one of her, I went to an open studio that was in Mid-City a few years ago, and I got this one, and it's not the ideal hanging spot for me, but I do think it works here. I love that it feels like, I don't know, it's giving me like Andy Goldsworthy in some ways, of just like nature and being outside. The rope work I think is so beautiful. This is our guest room. She's small but mighty, and we love when we have guests over. It's so fun. One thing that I got recently, which I love, after waiting for so long from IKEA, is this little donut. Again, I think it's such a cute, like, look at that light. Wouldn't you want to wake up to that? This is one of my very best friends and favorite people in the world, Jenny Rush. And I love that there's so many layers, and she worked additively and then worked reductively by, you know, using tape and some other things and peeling and peeling the tape away, scratching things, just to get to this other texture under here. She's now doing ceramics, not really doing too much art like this, but I love this piece. This is a watercolor of my first dog that I'd taken to the beach. It was his first time at the beach in New York, and I think we went to the Rockaways. So this is our pink bathroom. There were some details that we could do, which is add, you know, things like this, get a better fixture here. These, I love these. We have them in our other bathroom too. They're actually for assisting. Again, I gotta plug Rennie's toilet paper. I mean, how can you not? The mirror, I love. The pink just worked out perfectly. Plus, a lot of themes in our house are squares and circles. So the fact that it was circle and pink is just like so sweet and such a great addition to making this bathroom look a little more contemporary. These knobs I actually got on Etsy. I freaking love them. They're also ceramic, and they're just, I don't know, I just feel like just this little pop of like lavender. They make me happy. I am in the middle of getting this baby framed. I was in New York for work, and all the years of living in New York, I never bought anything other than the Union Square Farmers Market, but it was a Union Square Farmers Market day. This artist happened to have some pieces up, and I fell in love with this, and I'm gonna get it framed actually this weekend, and I'm repurposing this white frame, which I think is gonna look great. The real focus is my insane, you might have to come over here, puzzle collection. Oh my God. You might have to get an angle over here because it goes up and over to the Les Paz ones.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm sick.
This is awesome.
The map is from where Ryan and I are from. So even though he's ripped in the corner, one day we hope to frame it. I love maps. It's also so special that it's where we're from. That's where we met. If you look our house up, you will see how horrible this looked before. So again, a circular mirror, circle, circle, circle. I love that little cartel. Oh, another thing that I love is from Hay, my donut door stopper.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it cute? It's dusty. Okay, so this bathroom was super old-timey when we moved in as well. And you had to like step into the shower, and it just felt really small. So we rethought how we could make it feel a little more modern, or just a little more like with our circle square theme. So basically you don't have to walk in, you don't have to step over anything. There's no shower curtain. It's open. It's great. The tile, regular cheap white tiles with green grout. Wanted the green just to have a pop of color in here. That mirror is from Schoolhouse. The dresser where Ryan and I used to live, and where we met Madeline and our other friend Stella and some other buddies. We had a super, and he was actually more than a super. He became a buddy, and he is quite the character. He has a knack for finding things, and he had this dresser, and he was trying to get rid of it. So we bought it from him for $200, and I love it. I don't see any world where we'd ever get another dresser. And then the lamp, I'd been, I know we're not supposed to covet, but I'd been really coveting and wanting an Entler lamp, and they were having a sample sale, or not a sample sale, but just a sale at their studio where they actually make them. And so Ryan and I hustled, got in line, we got a glimpse of like what they had on sale. We divided and conquered. He grabbed a few lamps, and ultimately decided to go with one of their more classic colors, which is this pink. I absolutely love it. It's ceramic, it's beautiful. I've never seen a lamp like this. So this is the kitchen, and when we bought it, we both felt like it needed an upgrade, but because we don't have all the money in the world, we had to look for solutions that were within our budget, and actually things that we could physically do with it. And one of the biggest things, I think, was taking a beat and going from this, which you can't even really see what the original brown was, but it was brown, and looking through some different colors to tie in or different colors, like different values of pink and different saturations to tie in the floor, because if you see the floor, tie in the floor with the counter. This color that we ended up with, I didn't think when we were looking at the swatches would work. So what we did is just use this space here to paint paint big areas to see which one we were gonna like the best. And we ended up with this one. I had these chairs, they're Batoya chairs. I've had them forever. The table is an Eames table that I also got on Facebook Marketplace. So this is our backyard. When we moved into this house, this wall was not here. It was, I'm just gonna be bold and say it, a really shitty fence from like, I don't even know. And then this over here behind me was all like, it's probably the original. It was like wrought iron, but it was also zip tied together. So took a beat to figure out what we wanted to do here. Originally we were just gonna cinder block it, but after seeing the cinder block, it's like, well, how much more is it to stucco? And our house is stucco. So we decided to have them finish it and to stucco it. And it just feels like a little oasis. Who do you hear, party? Where's Flora? Where is she? Thank you so much for joining me on this tour of our house. We love it here, and all the things that we've been able to share with you today in this video just means so much to me and my husband who's not here, but thank you for joining us on our tour today.